Hello, now we are on the third part of our class and we're gonna see about prototyping. Prototyping is a technique used by designers to test and validate quick ideas. So a prototype is an early sample or model or release of a project, and we use that to test a concept or a process. So prototypes are a crucial part of a design process, and it's a practice that is used in all design disciplines, from architecture, engineering, industrial design, and many others. So people in these fields make their prototypes to test their designs before investing in the product itself. So they use prototype to test, to communicate, and to share a vision related to the problem they are working on. So here are some points related to prototypes. We use prototypes to communicate ideas in an understandable way, so we can share a model or a vision. I imagine something, for example, and I want to share that with someone else. So I try to draw a prototype about that or a wireframe, and then I share with someone else. I can use it as a communication tool as well. I can use prototype to test possibilities without compromising on a single solution, and also to devise and solve problems, and to manage the process of creating solutions by breaking down complex problems into smaller elements that can be tested and evaluated as prototypes. So in prototypes, we're gonna see that are very different one from another. We have what we call low fidelity prototypes, those that you can draw on paper, and they may be different from the final version. And on the other hand, we have the high fidelity prototypes that looks like a final product or a final app, for example. Here another example of the same prototype in different levels of fidelity. We have the low fidelity on the left hand side, and also we have the final version on the right hand side. So we started doing it on paper and then use some tool to create a more realistic version of the prototype. And also we have the high fidelity prototype with colors and the look that seems to be the final version of the app. And we can start prototyping using a technique that I like to use. Using just paper and pen, we can start our paper prototyping. I would like to invite you here to draw your first prototype. Even if you have never drawn one, you are welcome to try this for the first time. All you need here is paper and pen, of course, and don't worry about the quality of your sketches. It's the first time we are not using it to evaluate something. We are using it just to transport one idea that we have in mind into paper and pen. So we transform what's abstract in some concrete. So we will build and then we can build a prototype out of it. Here I like to use a technique called Crazy 8. Crazy 8 is used inside a design sprint workshop, and all you need to do is get a sheet of paper and fold it until you get 8 equal parts, like here in this video you can see. You get a paper, as you can see, and then you fold it, and then you fold it again, and you see we have 8 equal parts, and you can use to sketch a storyboard or to sketch your first prototype. Okay, so take some time to test your uh, your first prototype and to draw for the first time at that. Also, we have here the high fidelity prototypes. And why is that important? In addition, of course, to being featured as the project demonstration, you can use that to demonstrate to someone else. You can build interactive prototypes where the user can click on the buttons and to have a behavior on the interface that seems to be the final version of the prototype. So you can build high fidelity prototypes to test with the final user and how your interface will be and how the user will perceive the interface. And that eliminates some steps that you need to develop the final version and then give to engineering and software engineers to program that, and then you can give to the users. So you can draw your first you can draw your paper prototype, and then you can improve it until you have a high fidelity prototype. And we have some tools for building digital prototypes. We have Sketch, Figma, and Adobe XD. um, Figma and Adobe XD are free, so you have a premium plan, but you can test and use it for free. It's quite simple. But Sketch you need to pay first before using it. I'll show here an example how can you use Figma to draw your first prototype. You're gonna see how it is very easy to do that. Here I've already logged in into Figma, and I've already created the project, but it's quite simple. I'm showing here the tools that you can access from the menu, and you can create and edit and include plugins, and you have the selection tool. We have what we call frames. Frames are the part that you're gonna draw inside. And you have the tools like rectangle, line, ellipse, and the pen tool or pencil, text, and also the hand tool that you can use to move your sketches. We start by drawing a frame, a specific part or the artwork that we're gonna create. So I'm using a frame that has the same size of iPhone 8 screen. So I can draw inside my frame. I'm selecting a specific tool, and then I start drawing on the frame. Then you see that it can look like a specific app. So you start drawing your first prototype, and then you can have a low fidelity or a high fidelity. It depends if you add colors and all the visual aspects of the final version of the app. On the right hand side, you have the properties and attributes for the elements that you are creating. So you can change colors, dimensions, and also you can even include rounded corners as I'm showing here. You can change borders property and filling property, so you can change colors, opacity. Great. Then you can create new frames. Each frame will be a different screen in your, imagine you have an app, so different screens of the app or different parts of the app can be prototyped as different parts of your prototype as well. You can drive, for instance, a menu or a tab bar or app bar if you're prototyping an app. I've pressed Control D or Command D if you are using Mac to duplicate the element on the screen. Then I use the text tool to include some text. I can change the size of the text as well. All you need to do here is to go to figma.com, and then you will create your account if you don't have one yet, and then you create your first prototype there. It's really simple to do that. You're gonna enjoy doing it. Now I have a challenge for you. So you have here to create two prototypes for a video player app. So one low fidelity prototype and also a high fidelity prototype. So you can start sketching on paper and then move to a digital prototype tool such as Figma that I've just showed to you how to use. And to encourage you doing that, I'll show an example of how I draw a prototype on paper. You can start drawing your first sketch, and don't worry, uh, I'm sure you can do it better than I do. So yeah, it's quite simple. You just get a paper. How do you imagine a video player app? I imagine a part of the video and then the progress bar. Sometimes it's not so clear, but I can get that later on Figma, and then I make that clear. And I've included some options and buttons there. The full screen option, the video title. It will look like, or at least it will remind me that it's a video player app. So you can start drawing that. It's quite easy, and I encourage you to do that if you never has done that before. Yeah, quite simple. So thank you, and see you in the next class. Bye.